is Liz. We are so excited to have you guys here tonight to start our new series, Coffee Shop? So, coffee something. And how many of you are like legitimately drinking coffee at 7:36 p.m.? I can't comprehend the fact that you're drinking coffee this late. Like, are you going to sleep? Like, do you enjoy sleep? Do you just like to torture yourself? Like, I don't understand. Danny was saying that coffee this late would make his heart, like, pound. Can I tell you a story really quickly? Because I have the mic and I can. Okay, so about heart pounding, I have my biggest fear in life is mice. Okay, and you're like, Liz, like, that's not a big thing. No. I can do spiders, I can do snakes, I can do heights, I can do planes. I cannot do mice. Their little beady eyes, I can't do it. So I was at home, and we might have a little bit of a mice problem in our garage. And I was blowing up balloons at home, and I was like going to put the stuff away. And you like step into our garage, and I immediately like turned to put something on the shelf, and a mouse like jumped on me. It was like eye level. We made eye contact, and then it was like, I'm coming for you. So it jumped off the shelf. I don't know if it like hit my shoulder and then bounced off, or if it hit my shoulder and fell on the ground. All I know was that as soon as it launched, I started screaming, just like bloody murder, just like a full-out scream, and immediately started crying. I was just like, I can't. That happened like 45 minutes ago, so I'm a little shooken up about it. Tonight, like 45 minutes ago, I literally texted Danny in all capital letters and said, a mouse jumped on me. If I see it again, I'm burning the whole house down. This is not a drill. I was like, I will legitimately burn my house down. But, so we're gonna hire someone anybody know how to take care of mice? Like, get rid of them? I'll hire you. Come over. Yeah, don't bring a cat. I don't want a cat, though. That's not what I want. So, anyways, announcements. That's really why I'm up here. If you guys are new here, underneath your seats, we have a Connect card. We would love to get connected with you. Even if you haven't filled a Connect card out in a while, you can fill it out. We'd love to get your updated information. We won't spam you. We'll just ask for your social security number, so it's not that big of a deal. That's it. So fill those out. We would love to get connected to you. Another way that we get connected around here is our community groups. So we have community groups every other Tuesday, and this Tuesday we have community groups. So we have our ladies coming up. That's the fourth Saturday. We have our co-ed, and then we have our couples group. And so we would love for you guys to join us and get involved in those. They're super, super fun. Going with super fun, how many of you are excited about the Super Bowl? Yay! How many of you are excited about the commercials? How many of you are excited about the halftime show? Right. So we, Danny and myself, we are hosting the Super Bowl party, and we would love for you guys to come over and hang out with us. You can sign up on the Link's website. You can bring food. You cannot bring food. You can just come over. It starts at 5. If you sign up, we'll send you our address, or if you just text us, we'll also send you our address. Most of you know where we live, so just come on over whenever. Super Bowl, our house, Sunday. Ladies in the house, yes. Okay, March 4th and 5th, we are hosting the IF Gathering. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it is a webinar, and it's just with with Jeannie Allen and a bunch of really other great people. So we're hosting it, and it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be at our house. If you want more information, let me know. It's $19 to sign up for the whole weekend. You come hang out with us. We're literally kicking Danny out of the house so that we can have like a fun little sleepover, and it's going to be awesome. So come and hang out with us on the 4th and the 5th. And then I have one more thing, and then I promise the worship team will do better than anything I do up here. Next week is the Link's 15th anniversary. So we are going to have a birthday party. We're actually catering that night. We're going to be catering Tacos for Life. So come on in and enjoy Tacos for Life. We'll have dinner, there will be worship, and our special guest this year, we're actually going to have every Link pastor that has ever been a pastor here in the house, and we're just going to get to do life, and it's going to be awesome. There'll be cupcakes, there'll be balloons, every good thing that's at a birthday party. So we hope to see you next week. I'm officially done. So I'm going to pray and then hand it over to the worship team. So you guys can stand and get ready for worship as we pray. Heavenly Father, God, thank you so much for this night. Thank you for the opportunity for us to come together and worship you. I pray that you would reveal yourself to us because you are here in this room. In Jesus' name I pray these things. Amen.
To me, you have always been patient, you have always been kind, you're consistent through the ages. Ooh, what a friend of mine. So I'll remind my soul to bless you, standing firm upon your truth, knowing you cannot be shaken. 'Cause I've seen what you can do. Oh, you are good. In the morning I'll sing. You are good. And in the evening I'll sing. You are good. You are good to me. To me, oh yes, you are. You keep on getting better. You keep on getting better. Come on, is that true today? You keep on getting better. 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 Oh Jesus, you keep on getting better. You keep on. Keep on getting better. You keep on getting better. That's his character. You keep on getting better. You keep on getting better. That's my Jesus. You keep on getting better. 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 Oh, you keep on getting better. Come on, let's sing this. You keep on getting better. Keep on getting better. You keep on getting better. Day by to me. Let's flip it and let's tell our hearts today. Let's sing, He is good. Let's sing that. He is good. In the morning I'll sing, He is good. And in the evening I'll sing, He is good. He is good to me. He is trustworthy. He is trustworthy. And He's good to me. He's so good to me.
So good, so good. So good, so good. So good.
How great the chasm that lay between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Then through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. The work is finished, the end is written. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Come on, this is our story. Who could imagine so great a mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory to wear my sin and bear my shame. The cross has spoken, I am forgiven. The King of Kings calls me his own. Beautiful Savior, I'm yours forever. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Come on, sing this out. You know these words. And hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe, and out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Come on, let's lift that up again. Then came the morning that sealed the promise. Your buried body began to breathe, and out of the silence, the roaring lion declared the grave has no claim on me. Oh, Jesus. ashes of defeat. The resurrected King is resurrecting me. In your name I come alive to declare your victory. The resurrected King is resurrecting me. By your Spirit I will rise from the ashes of defeat. The resurrected King is resurrecting me. In your name we come alive to declare your victory. The resurrected King is resurrecting me. By your Spirit I will rise from the ashes of defeat. The resurrected King is resurrecting me. In your name we come alive to declare victory. The resurrected King is resurrecting me. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name, Jesus Christ, my living hope. Jesus Christ, my living hope. I'm going to invite the prayer team up to the front and sides of the room. And as we continue in worship, we just invite you, if you have something on your heart, if you need something, if you need prayer over something, or if there's something you want to celebrate, you are invited to come forward to our prayer team members. They have been praying over this moment all week, and they continue to pray for you throughout the week. So whatever it is that's on your heart, we encourage you that you don't have to keep it to yourself. So we invite you to come forward for prayer at this time.
I'll never be more loved than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I can do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now.
Going through a storm, but I won't go down. I hear your voice carried in the rhythm of the wind to call me out. You would cross an ocean so I wouldn't drown. You've never been closer than you are right now. Jireh, you are enough.
You are.
Jireh, you are enough. So I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough.
He's forever. He's forever enough, always more than enough. He's forever enough, always more than enough. I don't wanna forget how I feel right now on the mountaintop. I can see so clear what it's all about. So stay by my side when the sun goes down. Don't wanna forget how I feel right now. Come on, let's sing this out. Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough. You're forever enough, always enough, always more than enough. Always enough, always more than enough.
I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. And that is enough. Oh, I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you've spoken. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. And that is enough. I'm already loved. I'm already chosen. I know who I am. I know what you spoke. We declare it. I'm already loved more than I could imagine. That is enough. And that is enough. And that is enough. That is enough. Sing you are. You are enough. So I am enough, God. You are enough. So I am enough. Sing it. You are enough. So I am enough, God. You are enough. So I am enough. Oh, we make room for you, 'cause you provide our every need. We make room for you. You can have everything. I'll make room for you. I'll make room for you. And I give you everything. And I'll make room for you. I'll make room for you. It's not a building you wanna fill. It's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. It's not a building you wanna fill. It's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. It's not a building you wanna fill. It's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. I make room for you. It's not a building you wanna fill. It's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. It's not a building you wanna fill.
my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. It's not a building you wanna fill, it's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along, yeah. It's not a building you wanna fill, it's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. One more time, one more time. It's not a building you wanna fill, it's my heart. This empty space is what you wanted all along. Jireh, Jireh, you are enough. Jireh, you are enough. I will be content in every circumstance. Jireh, you are enough.
You are enough. Jireh, you are enough. So I will be content in every circumstance. I will be content, content in every circumstance. I will be content. Oh, in every circumstance, 'cause you are Jireh, you are enough.
When I sing this song, I don't know about you, but I think of all of those times where God has come through. I think about all the times where God has provided exactly what I need. Just real quick, just a couple things that come off the top for me. When Liz and I were newly married, we lived in this really cheap apartment and we wanted to get out of this apartment. We needed to move into this duplex. And y'all know when you move, you got to put down a down payment, right? Well, we're this freshly married couple. Both of us are in part-time ministry. Y'all know we didn't have very much money, right? But we know this was a God thing. Like, we knew this move was a God thing. And so we pushed forward, even though we didn't have the finances in the bank. And then a week later, like we literally have to put down the down payment on this duplex. And in the mail, we get a check for the exact amount that we need. When Liz and I were a few years into our marriage, we were youth pastors. I mean, we still are, but we were youth pastors, and we had an opportunity to take in 3 teenage girls into like emergency foster care situation type thing. Liz and I were in that duplex that we had prayed for, but we didn't have the space. We didn't have what we needed. And it was so wild to see all of those needs get met before we even asked. I called a friend to ask him to pray for me. And I said, bro, this is what's going on. Will you pray for me? And he said, yeah, but do you need bunk beds? And I said, yes, I do. He said, well, I just tore mine down in my kids' rooms. I was about to take them to Potter's house. Here, come get these bunk beds. Like, story after story, I know that you can think of all of those stories where God has come through, where he has given you exactly what you need. But here's the thing. Even if he didn't in those moments, he's still enough. Even in those moments where you feel like you don't have everything you need, you feel like you're lacking something, he's still enough because of who he is. And in that same way, he says, you are enough. The only thing that you need is already inside of you. It's Jesus. It's God inside of you. You have what you need. You are enough because of what God has already said about you. So whether you have had those moments where God has come through and provided for you or not, he is enough. He is our provider because he has provided himself. So let's go back into this song and let's worship him. Let's praise him for the fact that he is Jireh. He is more than enough. He has provided you with everything you could ever need himself. Let's worship him. God, you are good. We are so thankful for who you are. We're so thankful for everything that you have done. God, we know that you are enough. We know that you have given us exactly what we need. We are so thankful for the provision, for the fact that we have clothes on our back, that we have this place that we can come to and we can worship you. God, thank you for an opportunity to gather with our brothers and sisters, to declare that we have everything that we need, that you are enough. We love you, God. We give you tonight. It's in Jesus' name we pray all these things. And everybody said, amen. Amen. Thank y'all so much for being here at the link tonight. Go ahead and grab a seat, find a seat. If there aren't enough seats, we will provide one for you. I know we got a full house tonight. I'm really excited about what's going on here. In just a second, I know that you might be wondering, oh my goodness, what are all these stools doing up on stage up front? Well, you came on a really good night, because we're starting a new series here at the link, and we're calling it Coffee Talk, okay? We're calling it Coffee Talk. By the way, if you have not had enough coffee yet, we've got more coffee in the back, so please help yourself. If you're not going to sleep tonight, please don't blame me. I don't want to hear it, okay? You're adults. You can make your own decisions. Don't blame me. But we have some incredible guests with us tonight and some incredible members of this community. And we're going to talk a little bit about singleness. We're going to talk a little bit about relationships. Anybody want to hear about that? Yeah? Yeah, I think it's going to be good. One of our panelists said, sure. It's going to be good. If I have not had the opportunity to meet you, my name is Danny. I have the honor of being the college young adult pastor here at CLC. Thank you for joining us. Just a quick reminder, if you have never been here before, please fill out a Connect card. Like my wife said earlier, we're not going to spam you. We just want to get a little bit of information from you so we can send you a few things and just keep you in the know about what's happening here in this community. So I'm going to go ahead and invite some of our panelists up front. So our very first one, I'd like to invite Amberly. You can sit right here. Amberly Horton, please give her a huge link welcome. You can sit next to me tonight. Is that okay?
Ask your wife. Ask your wife.
Liz, is that okay? Okay, cool. Liz gave a thumbs up. All right. Next, I want to invite, let me see. Are they here in the room right now? Is Alex in here, Kirby? Where is he at? Is he hiding? Oh, there he is. I would like to invite to the front our newly minted 1-year anniversary couple, Alex and Kirby. Y'all coming up here, grab a seat. Wherever y'all can sit on the side, you can sit in the middle, whatever you want. And then, y'all, please give a huge link welcome to some people that you may not know, but you're going to get to know them tonight. They're my friends, soon to be yours. Please welcome Anthony and Anita Ball. Yes. Y'all get the middle. y'all get the middle. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about singleness. We're going to talk a little bit about relationships, about dating, about marriage. We might even talk about sex. What? Who said that? Whoa. Oh, Liz said, why are you whispering? Sex. Okay, cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pass the mic, and we're just going to have a conversation tonight. I'm going to ask some questions, and I'm going to let these amazing people up here give some answers. And so we just want this conversation to flow. So I'm going to ask a question. Don't feel like you have to answer every question. Don't feel like you have to know everything, but just jump in whenever. Amberly, you might want to scoot down a little bit so that we can get the microphone. Here, let me hold that for you. Oh, Anthony said, I'm just going to pull the whole stool over for you. All right. So just to start us off, I thought it would be fun. If I just gave a little icebreaker question. So here's what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to tell us who you are and then kind of your relationship status, and tell us a worst date story. A worst date story, all right? Start us off.
Okay, so my name's Amberly.
Hi, Amberly.
I'm here repping for the single people, obviously. My worst date story. I've been on a couple not good ones. Lydia laughs because she probably understands. What? That means you've probably been on a bad date. Okay, so the first one that came to mind, long story short, I got stood up, but Sarah Giroux came and ate Mexican food with me, so it wasn't the worst after all.
Hi, I'm Anthony. I'm Anita's husband.
Yes.
Glad to be here. Hopefully I don't get sat down Sunday morning off the drums. All right, thank you. I plan all the dates, so I have never had a bad date, so I'm gonna let Anita talk. Don't do the.
Hi, I'm Anita. I hang out with this guy. It's been 9 years this year. It's been a pretty cool ride so far. Let me see, worst date. Since it's getting close to Valentine's Day, I guess I'll tell the story. So we was dating, we were in college, and dinner was supposed to be at 7 o'clock. Well, 7:30 came, 8 o'clock came, 9:30 came. Mr. Ball knocked on the door with balloons. Not flowers, just balloons. I must admit, he's awesome with gifts, but this time he kind of got the balloons popped.
My name's Kirby. I'm married to Alex. We just celebrated 1 year of marriage like a couple weeks ago. So we're not experts at all, but we're just happy to be here.
We got it all figured out.
Yeah, we know everything. Write down everything we say. My worst date story was not with Alex. So we've had good dates. I don't know. He didn't specify. There's no rules. My worst date story was some of you know I have a phobia, like a legitimate, it's called blood injection injury phobia. It's a real thing, and I have it. And so basically I faint really easily around like blood, guts.
She got her eyes dilated and fainted.
I did. And I went on a date. It was like one of my first dates ever with this guy, and we went to see Soul Surfer. In the movie theater, just sweating. All the blood was out of my head, like hyperventilating. I don't know if he knew that was happening. I was really trying to hide it, but I was mortified. I was just about to pass out. So that was the worst date.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm married to Kirby. So my worst date story, in honor of Valentine's as well, yes, Kirby and I. I was super, super cute with it. I set up this like movie in the back of the car situation. We came to the church parking lot and like we're gonna sit at the overlook and watch a movie and had like chocolate covered strawberries. And so we both love tacos for life. We went and got it and took it to our spot. And I ended up, the date went well. I ended up getting very, very sick from Tacos for Life, though, and I ended up in the ER. And so since then, it's ruined Tacos for Life, first off. And then it's also ruined that date, so.
I had a good time.
We're having tacos for life next week. So.
Since then, I have eaten it and haven't gotten sick, so okay. I think it's good.
Cool. All right, cool. I didn't know if we were going to see some fireworks next week or something. So, wow. Okay. Hey, let's kind of start this conversation off by talking about some good things. I feel like a lot of times we hear a lot of negatives when it comes to singleness, or we hear negatives when it comes to dating or marriage or how hard it is or something like that. Let's start off with the good stuff. What is good about being married? What's good about being single? Anybody can start that off.
I would say friendship. Kirby and I started as just friends, and a lot of you may know, and some of you may not. I was in the friend zone for a very, very long time. And, you know, we established our relationship on being friends, and since being married, it's been amazing to just get to hang out with your best friend all the time. And so that's my favorite part of marriage.
Living with your best friend.
He said that already. So we are high school sweethearts. So we've been together since I was a junior. She was a senior. You know, I like the Cougars. Wow. But I think I'm super goofy. So like stop, Ralph. So like we've just like always been friends and always been able to like laugh, and you know, even when we were stuck in church for a long time all day, I had to go to church with her and she had to go to church with me, and you know, she was Pentecostal, so they went to church all day, and we always found comedy even when we were at church, and you know, we would laugh at the church mothers for the big hats, and so like literally we just grew up together, and I think as we get older, we learn more about each other because you just change. We got 2 kids now, a 6-year-old and about to be a 3-year-old. So we literally, like, we do life together. So it's always fun, just kind of like getting to know each other and unlocking those doors that you have to do in a relationship. Because I think, you know, no matter when you get married, like, you have these locked doors that you're afraid to like let people in on because you think it may judge you. Even if this is like your best friend, like you keep stuff to yourself. Like everybody here, I'm gonna take this to my grave. You know, like, and it's so liberating to be able to share those, whatever, if it may be a deep dark secret or a long trauma you've had or something you may be embarrassed about you grew up from or whatever. It's just cool to be able to share something. I think when you talk about being free, it's something that's you talk about being within, free within, and to be able to let that go and share that with somebody. That's the best part about it. Top that.
Okay, so being single. The first thing that came to my mind about the best part is just availability. There's only one calendar to check. So I can travel. If someone calls me and they're like, hey, I need help, like I only have to worry about myself. But that sounds selfish. I didn't mean it like that, but. And I don't have to compromise for the thermostat, so.
That's a big deal.
Yes.
Okay,
It's a big deal.
can we keep it real here? Y'all okay if we keep it real? Okay, let's start getting into these questions for real. What's the hardest part about being single? What's the hardest part about being married?
I don't know the hardest part, but I'll say this. Like when we first got married, we used to bicker over like the smallest possible things or whatever. Like she folded her towels a certain way, I folded my towels a certain way, I folded my t-shirts a certain way. It was dumb, hers was smart, and you would literally be furious over each other. And I'm sitting in the back of my head like, are we really like going to town about towels and the way I fold my t-shirts? Like it's my t-shirt. Like you don't have to wear my t-shirt. Like it's oh.
I think marriage becomes hard because you take these two individual people and you place them in this one space to learn each other. Because even though you've dated and even though you've been around each other and you think you know everything possible about this person that you've dated, but when you're in this house and you wake up to this person and you spend time, actually this intimate personal time, one-on-one quality time with a person, I feel like that's when you really get to know a person. They open their soul to you. And so for us, I think that's what it started. We started building a family with each other. We was able to be open and honest and not feel like we can exit out the door. When you're dating, I feel like it's always that exit. And so when you are truly committed, not on paper, but in your heart, before God, before friends, it leaves that you stand there and you reveal all of you, even if it's I fold my towels one way or you fold your towels that way. And I think that's how you build your family, because all of your business is open to each other, and that's how a healthy communication really starts. Because really, marriage becomes hard when the communication lacks.
That's good.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
We still have to learn to communicate.
Yeah, still learning.
I think the hardest part is you are fully exposed and there's nowhere to run anymore. And I am a huge withdrawer when it comes to conflict. I just shut down and I love to ignore it. And when I was just single and living by myself, I could do that because it's just me. And you have to address it and work through it. And so it's beautiful, but it's really difficult, and it's a big learning curve, especially like there's a lot of things for me that I feel like I'm starting from scratch where I didn't grow up with the best example of marriage. And so learning some basic communication skills that he got to see and I never knew about, and trying to like work through the different learning curve where I have to learn a lot here, but he doesn't. But then he has to learn a lot somewhere else, and I'm better at that. So, yeah, there's nowhere to run. You have to face your conflicts and your weaknesses and all of that, which is good, but it's really hard.
Yeah. To back that up, I kind of think, so you are molded your whole life. You have all these experiences, your family, whatever it may be, your friends, and you're molded into your individual person. And you take those traits and characteristics and whatever habits you've built with yourself, and then you try to merge into someone else's characters and everything else that they've been molded by. And it's really hard at first to figure out how to become your own, like one unit. And so I think that's been the hardest part of marriage for us.
Yeah. Amber, you want to answer this question?
Okay. So I wrote down a couple things. Obviously, for singleness, loneliness is a big one, and insecurity about why am I single? Like, especially if I've been in relationships before, so experiencing the other side of breakups. Online dating is the worst. Yep, thank you for the support. And then I've actually talked to some people in the room about this before, but not being included when it comes to other couples and married couples.
So for the people who are dating and married, how can they help with maybe some of the skills you might have?
Well, obviously not. They can't really help with the online dating one, but
If y'all got any friends?
yeah, if you have single friends, that'll work. But but with the not being included, actually, I want to give there's a lot of people in this room that are really good about it, so this is not really directed to people in this room because you and Liz are really great about it, and Alex and Kirby are really great about it, about making sure that they're intentional about, we want you to be there, and acknowledging that, yes, you're single, but I want you to, you're part of my life, and that's important, whether you're single, married, whatever, you still have value in my life. So I think that, and then with the loneliness and insecurity, I don't know, that's a hard one for other people to help with because that just kind of goes back to reminding yourself of the truth from the word. Because, I can be around people all the time and still feel that loneliness of being single, but I guess it's just kind of being honest with your friends and your friends kind of checking in because not everyone who is single struggles with that, but married people, I know that, I'm sure married people still feel loneliness too, but just being honest and upfront with your friends about it.
Yeah, that's good. For the married folk here, what's something that society or the church doesn't talk about when it comes to marriage that you think we should talk about more?
Sex.
He said sex.
Well, so I'll say this, and this is even something I talked about with the CLC pastors. I think we should do a better job about having these conversations. You're doing a good job. Everybody give it up, Pastor Dana. But seriously, we don't get to have these conversations a lot, and who feels like they didn't grow up around healthy relationships? So it's didn't, and so we're not alone. It got to be at least half of us feel like they didn't grow up around really, really healthy relationships. So I think we're always seeking that. Even when we get married, we're still seeking healthy relationships and, finding whole people so we can kind of rub off on them a little bit. They can rub off on us a little bit. Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll pass. You want to? Okay. What's the question?
Good thing they're not married. Oh my goodness. Communication conflict up here right now. So, what about singles? What does society, what does the church not talk about that you think we should talk about more?
Sex.
She said sex.
So I grew up, I'm from farther south than here, and I grew up in the South in the Bible Belt. So my whole life has been centered around sex is bad, don't think about it, don't talk about it. It doesn't exist until the day you walk down the aisle. Then you can talk about it. Then you can ask questions about it. Then you can know the truth about what it is. But before that, it's very shameful. So.
I think there's a lot of people who agree with you. Thank you for sharing that.
I think it is not communicated very often that marriage is not like the ultimate fulfillment or the end goal or the final, you know what I mean? Like, we're still insecure, we're still lonely. Like, just because we're married does not mean we have arrived somewhere. And I think there's this stigma that, oh my gosh, this person's 29 and they're not married yet, like they're late. You can't not be late to something that there is no due date for. There is no, sorry, I get so fired up about this. It's just, I think there's a stigma that, like, if you're not married yet, there's something wrong with you, or there's some way you haven't matured yet, or something not good enough about you. And that is so not true. There was nothing about me that labeled me as qualified enough to be married. Like, I was a mess. I was still struggling with mental health and issues that I had hoped to have cleaned up before meeting him that were not cleaned up. And same for him. And so there's something so so beautiful about being single, and you only get to do that for like a pretty small percentage of your life in the grand scheme of things. Embrace it, yes. So I have a whole soapbox about that if anybody wants to talk to me afterwards. I'm fine.
I think we can all go home now. Good job, Kirby.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a real question, and I think we hear a lot of this where, especially like younger couples who are like really passionate, they're like, I just love him. I just love her. Well, where are you going to live? It doesn't matter. I love him. What are you guys going to do for work? I don't know. I just love him. It's all good. It's going to work out. Is love enough?
Yes, but love is not a feeling.
Okay.
So by that, I mean love is a choice. It is an action word. And so the feeling of love is not enough. You will get divorced because you don't always feel that. The choice of love, which is very evident when it's difficult to love the other person, that is what is enough, and that is what sustains you.
Alex said retweet. I'm not saying anything.
I'll say this. Quick answer, no, it's not enough. So I get in trouble a lot. Like, it's a few of y'all that, you know, at the end of service, we'll gather around, we'll talk, and I'll put my foot in my mouth a lot of times. But I'm okay with that. I think these conversations are very, very important. So I had a conversation with Pastor Grant. Everybody knows he's been in South Africa for a long time. And we had a joke. His daughter was trying to kiss my son. And I had to, like, roll up on her and let her know, like, you can't be kissing on my son. But we started joking about arranging a marriage. And the point of it is, people forget where marriage came from. Marriage wasn't about love in the first place. Marriage was about business. And I think if you look at Middle Eastern families, Sikh families, Chinese families, Asian, if you look at just older communities that's older than America, it's about business. It's an economic agreement. And I think, and this is where I kind of get in trouble, I think we've left that part out too much. Because, you know, she can love me all day, but if I can't warm her up because there's no house, and I can't feed her because there's no food, it's hard to love me when you're hungry and when you're cold. You know, like, I think we're having a lot of great progressive conversations about women's rights, and I'm all for it. And because men have been toxic and abused power as well, but at the end of the day, I think we're still programmed to a woman wants to be kept and a man wants to be a keeper. And I think the farther we get away from that, that's the reason why you're seeing divorce rates, because men are coming in and saying, hey, can you meet me halfway? And that's not really how it goes. And I think deep down, like, it's just the way it is. You know? And you know, seriously, I just think that's where it lands. Like we're talking about we love each other so much, but we're not bringing any other substance to the table. Like people are mentally weaker and financially weaker and spiritually weaker, and we need to address those things.
And for me, I grew up in a home where I had two strong parents. And so love was always important, but I knew my father loved me first, period. Like before I even start thinking about loving a man or anything, like my father loved me. I knew he will stand and take care of me before anybody. So I love myself first before even thinking about love because I knew I came from love. And so I think that's where we need to start at. The homes that children are being raised, the homes that you was raised in, how did the love affect you? How do you embrace love? And I think that affects how we see love.
That's good. Okay, can we get spicy real quick? Okay. Okay, so let's nobody wants to get spicy. Okay, but I'm asking the question, but anyway. Okay, so talking about sex. How is your sex life now versus what you thought it was going to be when you were younger?
I'll be vulnerable. So a lot of my life from a young age, I grew up struggling with a porn addiction. I have since kicked that and have overcame it, but it's hard. And it's not just in men, it's not just in women, or it's not just in men, it's also women as well. And so porn has created so many false expectations of sex and what love is. And so I think being able to kick that addiction and also just learn what true love is has been amazing, but it's definitely something that I wasn't prepared for.
I think I was gonna give a very brief or a vague answer, but then I'm like, the whole point of this is to talk about things the church hasn't talked about before.
Come on,
so I'll just
come
go
on,
for it.
come on.
I think for us it's been hard in the sense of him wanting it more often than me. Can I say that?
Keep it real. Come on, keep it real.
That's hard, and I didn't expect that. I just thought we would always be on the same page, and that's not the truth. And so, like I said, we're only a year into marriage. I haven't figured that out yet, but even through that, I'm just learning the importance of talking to people around me also, and not keeping that to myself just because it's an awkward topic. It's real, and honestly, everybody I've talked to about it has also related, and so it's just so important, to talk about it. Sex was never designed to be something about shame, which is another hard thing about sex. It's a shame because sometimes a lot of us who grew up in church, like Amberly said, feel so much shame around even just talking about it. And it's intended to be such a beautiful, freeing thing full of confidence and vulnerability and, I'm all over the place, but I hope that makes sense.
Thanks for getting real, Kirby. How is your sex life now versus what you thought it was going to be when you were younger?
Now it's definitely a roller coaster. I don't know if that's right. We are two kids in. I as a kid, I guess, it was always reserved. You don't talk about it. That's kind of where I came from. I'm going to be honest. I came from a place where I heard a lot of sick stories about, my uncle touched me or my daddy touched me or different stories that women went through. And so for me, it was always made me feel insecure. And so growing up, sex wasn't big for me. I mean, when you hear keep yourself, be pure over and over and over, then how do you even start to reveal yourself to someone you love? Because the steps are not there to even prepare you for. And so for me, I can honestly reveal myself and say it's a struggle. Even after having 2 kids, it's a daily walk to communicate and to understand and to talk to other couples and talk to people who's in a healthy place about it, because it's beautiful. It was meant to be done. We are humans. We feel things. And I think when we realize it's a beautiful thing and it's meant to be done with the right person, then we're able to embrace it more.
That's good.
I'm trying. I'm a church boy deep down, you know, so I'm gonna be real though. So, so, quick answer. I'll say this because I want to say something else. So, it was liberating when we got married because, again, it was so much shame tied to it, and you know, you sneak out and you do it, and you know, you go to the movies and you try to do it, and it was so much pressure, and it's, you know, I mean, real, like fellas, like, it's like women, it's like a due date to get married. For dudes, it's a due date to lose your virginity. You know, like you're not a man if you're going into a situation and you're virgin. Like it's not cool to be a virgin as a guy. You know, like I was an athlete, and it was so like teenage pregnancy was so huge, and in my city, in my community, like literally, even when I got married, we waited, and people thought I couldn't have kids because like people were starting to have kids when they're 16 and 17, and we didn't have kids until we were, you know, 22, 23, 24. It was later than that. So, when you finally go down the aisle and you get your wife and it's your person, it was liberating because for me, it was no shame attached to it. God wanted me to do this. You know, so, but what I want to say is like, I think since I've been married, it's kind of made me a softie. I was raised by a single mom. I had women all around me as far as like aunties and my sisters. There wasn't a lot of guys around. So like I've heard so many times where women were raped and women were touched on and women had pressure about sex or whatever. Like fellas, we got to do a better job of protecting our women. Like we got to do a way, way better job. Like I've heard stories from some of the ladies that go to church and how we even teach guys about sex and the way we teach women about sex in church. And I think we just got to be more responsible how we talk about these things. There's so much nuance like that's tied to this stuff. That's why you have the Me Too movement and stuff like that. Like to hear all these like terrible stories that I've never even imagined, like women in church getting sexual harassed. In business, and then you have to go back to those environments after you've been victimized. And I think, you know, if I see it, man, like I'm gonna be upset. Like so, I think, fellas, we got to get more upset about these kind of things because it's too many stories. It's way, way too many stories about our sisters and our aunts and our mothers, you know, our daughters. Of having these stories, and it just has to stop.
So I think for anyone who's single, it's kind of like a joke. It's like people are like, "Oh, what's your biggest fear?" And you're like, "My wedding night." So I think it's like a joke that people say, but it's real. Like for some people, like he said, for some people it's when they lose their virginity, and for some people it's not. And I mean, like I said, I grew up where sex wasn't talked about in church, but also I didn't have a good model of a healthy relationship. And I think so I have one biological sister, and then the others are not, the other my siblings are not, but I think my parents had sex twice, just for me and my sister. Like, I'm pretty sure that's it. because I never saw them even like hold hands or anything. So I don't know. But I will say, and I'm saying this from firsthand experience, if they don't want a relationship, don't give them relationship benefits. And for me, like, I was 18 when I met the love of my life, so y'all can see where that ended up now. And it kind of goes along the same lines of, he's not here.
Oh, he's not here. Oh, never mind.
Yes. And I mean, even going off of that, like, don't give your boyfriend or your girlfriend, your husband or your wife benefits, because I was engaged. So I was like, oh, we're going to get married. We didn't.
Yeah, thanks for getting real. Can y'all give us 5 more minutes? Is that okay? 5 more minutes? Y'all liking this so far? Okay, cool. I want to finish on this question because I wanted to give you guys one more opportunity to just say what you needed to say. So give us one final piece of advice. Marriage, dating, relationships. What's something that you want our community to know? Our community here in the link. Ours, you're included, Anthony.
I think one thing for me is I thought when I got married, it was just going to be rainbows and butterflies, and my spirituality is going to be so much better, and I'm going to go so much closer to the Lord. And that is not true if you don't put in the time to do it. And so what you do preparing for marriage and what you do outside of your relationship is so important. And so if you can start those habits early of staying in the Word and having your quiet times and just communicating with God and letting Him fill you up regularly, it is huge for you to take that into a marriage and keep that habit yourself and let it be separate than a relationship.
Yeah, mine's pretty similar. I think regardless of if you're married or single, life really isn't about that anyways. It's just a bonus either way. Life is about making the most of our time here for the glory of God. And whether that is through marriage or through singleness, that's the avenue. Marriage is a ministry, but so is singleness. And I think first and foremost, we try to remind ourselves, like, our marriage is not about us just having a good time. As much as we have a good time, we're best friends, but that's not why God brought Alex to me. He brought Alex to me because we share a similar heart for ministry, and we're able to execute that together because we have similar passions and talents. And so our ministry has now combined in such a seamless way. And that's the whole point of our marriage. It's not so that we can finally have sex. It's not so that we can go on all these fun dates or have this beautiful wedding, dare I say. The dream wedding. Twice. The first one was not a dream wedding. But it's about ministry. And so with that being said, regardless of if you're married or if you're single, are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your relationship with God? Because if you're not, what's the point anyways? If you're not, then your ministry is not going to be successful anyways. And so first and foremost, live your life through the lens of how healthy is my ministry right now? And with that being said, how healthy is my relationship with God? How healthy is my mind, my mental health? How healthy is my physical body? Just all these things. Maintain those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, if your physical body, mental is not healthy, then you can be a bonus, a benefit to anyone.
Yeah,
and so I'm always thinking about, as a mom, as a wife, keeping myself healthy to be able to care for my family. Yeah. And for me, it's about them accepting me in the place I'm at, and them understanding me, me bringing balance to them, to support them, to continue to keep them healthy. For me, that's what relationships is about, not if it's with Anthony or with my children. I mean, with my husband, it's just about if it's with my children or if it's with my community. Relationships is about building on something that you want to last forever. And I think that's the most important thing about where you stand in life. If you want to build a strong relationship, take those steps to do it. It will never come, it will never happen unless you continue to make those steps. And so that's what put me, Anthony, in the position we are at, to have a happy marriage, not to show it, to put pictures out. It's real. And people always say, oh, you seem so happy. And I'm like, no, it's real. I'm happy. We do life together. And so that's what I would encourage everyone to do.
So I just started reading a book called Love Your Neighbor from Doc Courage. She's at the church. Everybody should read the book. I just started it. But there's at the top of the book, it's talking about communication and communication. This book is primarily talking about communities and cultures and living, coexisting together. However, there was a quote in there that is going to be a quote that I hold on to forever. And I actually just was talking even to my niece about this, about relationships. There was a quote in the book that said, the better you communicate, the better relationships you will have. If you're not a very good communicator, you're not going to have very good relationships. And this is bigger than a spouse. This is at your job, on social media, whatever. If you're not a good communicator, and if you are a good communicator, you probably got good friendships and good relationships. So, and I think as it relates to, I can say our age group. I'm at the top of that, but I'm with y'all. I got the ripped up jeans and everything. Put these on for y'all, by the way, Alex. Doesn't he have great hair? He's got great hair. No, seriously. As it relates to this age group, social media is huge, right? And I think what we're seeing in society on a large level, people are being more outgoing in virtual world and more secluded and within themselves in real life. A conversation I was having with some businessmen, they were just saying, like, when people come into interviews, you're probably going to get the job just by being friendly and kind, because people don't know how to interact anymore. And I think, like, social media, like, I stay on social media, so I know how cool it can be. I know how useful it can be. But the flip side of it is we become terrible communicators as well, too. We see all the funny videos of people on their phones and walking in front, hitting themselves with poles in front of them and stuff like that. Like, that's a real thing. Like, I think we need to be conscious of those things, because it is a double-edged sword. On one side, we're connected to the whole world, but on the other side, we're not connected to our neighbor anymore. Like, I got nieces and nephews that got friends in Atlanta and Houston, and you say, who do you hang with in Fayetteville and West Memphis? And they're like, I don't got no friends. It's like, how do you have friends all the way across the country, but the people right beside you don't matter? And I think that goes directly into marriage and other relationships when you become more of a better communicator. And I just challenge everybody, let's get out of our heads as much. Let's have mentors. Let's have friends that we can talk to. The person I'm always drawn to are the people that's in the corners by themselves. I don't think she would be upset with me saying this, but she was really, really reserved in high school. And I was the clown, so I would walk up to her and get on her nerves all the time. But I'm drawn to people that's just kind of quiet. I look for the people that's kind of standing in the corner, and I think that's a God thing. Like we need to be those bridges in the community and pull those people out of the corner and pull them into the crowds. And let's express ourselves a little bit more, and let's explore these thoughts that's in our heads. And I think we'll all be better off in all kind of relationships, marriage included.
Send us home, Amberly.
Okay, I think for me, I wrote down a lot of different things, and I think the one that I want to leave y'all with for the single people, if you're single, stick firmly to your non-negotiables. That's such a church word, but that's the best way to describe it. And trust the people that do life with you, that do life closely with you, trust their discernment of who you're dating, because you trust them with everything else. And I know Liz is giving me a look right now because I'm literally saying this to myself. But God didn't create you in his image for you to give yourself to someone who doesn't deserve you.
Well, if I didn't have to pay for it, I'd drop the mic. So, but I'm not going to do that. Hey, can we thank our panel tonight for coming out here? Thank you guys for getting real and vulnerable and spicy. That was great. Thanks for doing that. Hey, I know that you guys are used to us finishing on a response song. We don't have that in this series. We are not responding in worship. We're not responding with a song. Instead, I want y'all to respond in conversation. I hope that you will leave from here having conversations like we've had here today. Feel the freedom to ask questions about the people next to you. Ask them about how comfortable or confident they are in their singleness, in their dating, in their marriage. And let's get real. Let's ask the hard questions. Let's have more of these conversations so that the church is known for being real and being vulnerable and being willing to have these conversations where maybe we haven't in the past. So thank you guys for being a part of this series and this conversation. We're going to continue this through the rest of this month. We're going to have some real conversations. So I hope that you'll join us. I hope that you will be a part of these things. So would you stand with me as we close tonight and we say our benediction? Here at the Link, we say that we are a movement and we are moving from glory to glory. Love y'all so much. We're going to Smitty's tonight for the after party. Come eat a burger with us. Love y'all so much.